Hey, what's up guys, Ben here, welcome to another video on my channel, FilmFanatic, and today we are counting down the top 10 underrated movies. I'd just like to say before we start, thank you so much for all the support. I got midweek, I uploaded a video with me and a few friends playing Never Have I Ever, and I got quite a lot of messages and comments saying that it was good and they enjoyed it, so thank you all very much for that, I do appreciate it. But today, we're going back to the film side of the channel and we are talking about the top 10 underrated movies. As always with countdowns on this channel, I do have to stress these are all my own opinion. If you disagree with anything, do let me know in the comment section down below. I do love to hear your guys' opinions on the videos, but if you disagree with the list or you agree with the list, let me know in the comments. But like I said, it's all my own opinion, so please don't crucify me if you disagree. But enough of that, let's just get into the countdown. So at number 10 guys, I do have a kids movie and it is Monsters vs Aliens. The most well known DreamWorks animation, obviously it's kind of overshadowed by Shrek. But Monsters vs Aliens follows a young woman on her wedding day who is hit by a meteor and she ends up growing to superhuman size, and she is put in with all these other monsters, and then when aliens attack the earth they are called upon, almost like the Monster Avengers, to fight these aliens. But for some reason this movie totally flew under the radar and wasn't really given any recognition for being a decent kids movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Number 9 on the list, we are going back a little bit earlier on Will Smith's career and we are going with Enemy of the State. Now classed as an action, drama, thriller, whatever you want to call it, the movie follows Will Smith's character who ends up getting falsely accused of murdering a politician, and he is tracked by the FBI and is up to a former FBI agent, Gene Hackman, to kind of save him, to keep him undercover, and then to reveal the true secret of why the politician was killed. It's a really good movie. Like I said, it's got a brilliant cast, Will Smith and Gene Hackman, 2 Oscar nominees, 1 Oscar winner. It's a fantastic movie, it's very enjoyable and I would definitely recommend it. Moving on to number 8 and we have Due Date. That rhymed. Due Date from the writers of The Hangover follows Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr., 2 actors I love to watch performing, but this story follows Robert Downey Jr.'s character needs to get over across America because his wife is pregnant, and his only hope after getting kicked off a plane is to drive with Zach Galifianakis. As you can expect, comedy ensues and they end up going on a mad road trip across country filled with police chases, drugs obviously, and a lot of masturbation jokes, so look forward to that. Number 7 on our list is The Adjustment Bureau. The movie follows Matt Damon's character, a presidential candidate who ends up falling in love at first sight pretty much with Emily Blunt's character. After years of being apart, they run into each other and Matt Damon finds out there is actually an organisation called the Adjustment Bureau which go about everybody's life dictating what happens. They control their lives, what happens and when it happens, whether they should meet somebody or whether they shouldn't. And he is told you have a choice. Either chase after this girl, this Emily Blunt character, or become President of the United States. And of course, you know what happens. It's a really good movie. It's kind of like Inception where it messes with your mind a little bit, but it's a lot simpler. It messes with your mind. It's a good movie, but again, don't really understand why it flew under the radar. I thought it was really good. Next up we have 8 Mile. Now you're probably wondering why 8 Mile is on an underrated movie list considering it won an Oscar, but it won an Oscar for Best Original Song, deservedly so in my opinion. But you're probably still wondering why an Oscar winning movie is on the underrated movie list, but that is because the performances in the movie are overlooked. Yes, it is pretty much just a story about Eminem, although he refuses to accept that. He always says it's just a character, it's not about me. But it is. But I have to give props to Eminem, a person we have seen in a few movies such as Funny People and The Interview, which he plays different versions of Eminem, but in this movie he's pretty much playing himself, although he does quite an underrated job. Don't get me wrong, he's not the greatest actor, he's either showing every emotion in one scene or no emotion in one scene. However, I actually enjoyed the movie, I thought it was really good. I think he did a really good job for being somebody with pretty much no acting experience whatsoever. It was an enjoyable movie, I liked it, go check it out. Next up we do have one of my favourite movies and it's called The Judge. The movie follows Robert Duvall's character, a well-respected and elderly judge in a small town in America, is accused of murder. And as Robert Downey Jr. is over in the small town, returning from it for the first time in years, having not spoken to his family, there to commemorate his mother who sadly died just before the movie begins, it is up to him to be the lawyer of his dad and realise that there's more to life than being rich and famous. It's all about family and loving each other. It's a really good movie, it's quite hard hitting. Once again, don't really understand why it flew under the Oscar radar. I'd say Robert Duvall definitely deserved at least a nomination for the role. Okay, so I had a little bit of a boo-boo. It was just after I recorded this and I'm sitting here editing it right now that I realised Robert Duvall did actually get nominated for the role. My mind totally drew a blank when I was recording obviously, but I was just listening back to it there and I realised he did. So, apologies for this. It's still a good movie.
Sorry.
I thought he was fantastic. Robert Downey Jr. is just a fantastic actor all the time. I love him so much. Was it worth a shout? I'd say so. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. Next up, we are going back on the action route, and it is Safe House. Starring Ryan Reynolds and Denzel Washington, the movie follows Ryan Reynolds' character as the runner of a safe house in America, which is basically a secret kind of apartment which they take criminals to. And once that is infiltrated and Denzel Washington tries to be kidnapped, it's up to Ryan Reynolds, an inexperienced, I believe it's CIA agent, to look after this master criminal, but he keeps escaping his graft and he needs to going after him and after him and after him. It's a very enjoyable movie. It's filled with great action scenes. One that you can always remember if you watch the movie is when he has to crash the car into a wall where they don't have seatbelts to fly through the sea. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's a very underrated movie. Again, don't really know why it flew under the radar. I really liked it. Definitely one of the better action movies I've seen. Next up, guys, we're going on the horror route, and it is Sleepy Hollow. Very early on in Johnny Depp's career, this movie follows Johnny Depp's character who comes to the town of Sleepy Hollow to investigate the murders and ends up uncovering the truth about the Headless Horseman. It's a very, not scary movie. It is a horror, although I'd say it's more of an enjoyable Halloween movie. You don't want to get terrified at, but you don't want to just be bored by it. It's very enjoyable, it's really good. Christopher Walken's the Headless Horseman. Was a surprise to see him in such a small role with pretty much no lines. Really enjoyable. I like the movie. You haven't seen it, I've said this for everyone on the list, but go check it out because it really does deserve a good watch because it is a very good movie. Moving on to number 2, and my girlfriend Alice will back me up in this. The movie Real Steel. It's slated quite a bit for not being a very good movie, but Hugh Jackman stars in a robot fighting movie. After his son Max is dropped on his lap, he has to take him on the road with him through all these robot fighting matches, and after his son finds what could be a future champion robot in the dumpster, they end up restoring it and putting it into the World Championship fight and winning over everybody's hearts. It's kind of like the Rockies movies, but with robots. It's kind of like the underdog coming up against his enemies and overcoming greatness. It's a good movie, I enjoyed it. It's not obviously the best movie, but if you're looking for just a good time, a good proper fighting movie, check out Real Steel. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to number 1 on my list, and it is another action movie starring Jude Law and Academy Award winner Forest Whitaker, and it is Repo Men. Set in the near future, this film takes place in a world where if your heart, kidney or lungs, whatever fails, they can replace them, and you have to keep up payments almost like you do with your house. You have to keep up payments in order to keep whatever it is they've replaced, and if you can't do that, they will come and repossess that organ, and they do that through the terms of Repo Men. They will literally come to your house, and they will literally cut you, they're surgeons, they will literally cut you open and take back what is theirs. Now, after a fatal accident, Jude Law's character does become one of these patients, and he ends up going on the run from Forest Whitaker and Liev Schreiber, I think is how you pronounce it. He's on the run from his own company, basically, which are trying to get their organs back, and it's a big, proper, good action movie. It's very interesting. It's got such a mad twist, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, obviously, but if you're looking for a really enjoyable action movie with some great actors and a great storyline, definitely look at Repo Men. And that's my list. Did you agree with it? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this kind of video and you want to see more like it, go ahead and drop the video a like rate. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss another video on my channel. And I'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Wow, the voice crack. Take care. Bad douche.